May I start with the Kirtan, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपति गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरा वनचारि यमुनातीरा वनचारि जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव माधव राधे जय राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद राधे, जय राधा गिरिधारी राधा गिरिधारी राधे, जय राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर राधे, जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ, जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा, जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ, जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा, गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय, गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय, निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल, निताय गौर हरि बोल, जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद, जय जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव गुरुदेव, जय जय गुरुदेव, हरे कृष्ण. So let us sing this song today by Srila Govinda Dasa Kaviraj, Bhaja Ho Re Mana. भजहो रे मना श्रीनन्दनन्दन, अभयचरणार विन्दरे, अभयचरणार विन्दरे, भजहो रे मना श्रीनन्दनन्दन, अभयचरणार विन्दरे, अभयचरणार विन्दरे, दुर्लभ मानव जन्म सत्संग, दुर्लभ मानव जन्म सत्संग, तार होए भव सिंधुरे, तार होए भव सिंधुरे, सीताताप बात बरीषण, हे दीन जामिनी जागिरे, हे दीन जामिनी जागिरे, विफले से विनु कृपण दुर्जन, विफले से विनु कृपण दुर्जन, चपल सुखलभ लागिरे, चपल सुखलभ लागिरे, भजहो रे मन श्रीनन्दनन्दन, अभयचरणार विन्दरे, अभयचरणार विन्दरे, हे धनयोपान पुत्र परिजन, येथे कियाचे परतीतिरे, येथे कियाचे परतीतिरे, कमल दल जल जीवन तलमल, कमल दल जल जीवन तलमल, भजहो हरिपद नीति रे, भजहो हरिपद नीति रे, भजहो रे मन श्रीनन्दनन्दन, अभयचरणार विन्दरे, अभयचरणार विन्दरे, दुर्लभ मानव जन्म सत्संगे, दुर्लभ मानव जन्म सत्संगे, तर होए भव सिंधुरे तर होए भव सिंधुरे श्रवण कीर्तन स्मरण वंदन पाद सेवन दास्य रे पाद सेवन दास्य रे पूजन सखै जन आत्मनिवेदन पूजन सखी जन आत्मनिवेदन गोविंद दास अभिलाष रे गोविंद दास अभिलाष रे भज हो रे मन श्री नंद नंदन अभय चरणार विंदरी अभय चरणार विंदरी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे भज हो रे मन श्री नंद नंदन अभय चरणार विंदरे अभय चरणार विंदरे. Translation: O mind, just worship the lotus feet of the son of Nanda, which makes one fearless. Having obtained the rare human birth, cross over this ocean of worldly existence through the ocean of the saintly persons. Day and night I remain sleepless, suffering heat and cold, wind and rain. For a bit of flickering happiness, I have vainly served wicked and miserly men. O mind, just worship the lotus feet of the son of Nanda, which makes one fearless. What assurance of real happiness is there in all of one's wealth, youthfulness, sons, and family members? This life is tottering like a drop of water on a lotus petal. Therefore, you should always serve and worship the divine feet of Lord Hari. O mind, just worship the lotus feet of the son of Nanda, which makes one fearless. Having obtained this rare human birth, cross over this ocean of worldly existence through the association of saintly persons. Hearing the glories of Lord Hari and chanting those glories, constantly remembering him and offering prayers to him, serving the Lord's lotus feet, serving the Supreme Lord as a servant, worshipping him with flowers and incense and so forth, serving him as a friend and completely offering the Lord one's very self. It is the desire and great longing of Govindas to engage himself in these 9 processes of bhakti. O mind, just worship the lotus feet of the son of Nanda, which makes one famous. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dandavат Pranam.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. I welcome all the devotees to the today's session for our class, and this is lesson 122. But before the class, let me offer the invocation prayers. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namini नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sadhana Raghunathan Vitam Tamto Jivam Sadvaitam Sapadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sadhana Lalita Sri Visakhanvitam Cha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपीश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं जयतां सुरतो पुङ्गर्मम मन्दमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्बोजौ राधा मदनमोहनौ दिव्याद्वृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमः श्रीमद्रत्नाङ्गरसिंहासनस्थितौ श्रीमद्राधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेवौ पृष्ठालिविसेव्यमानौ स्मरामि श्रीमान सरसारंभी बंशीवटतटस्थित कर्शन वेणुस्वनैर्गोपीर् गोपीनाथ श्रियस्तुनः श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद. Now I'll offer my obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नमने गौरवते नमः. O most beneficent incarnation, your Krishna himself appearing as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you have assumed the golden color of Srimati Radharani and you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you. Krishna Vannam Tusha Krishnam Sangopanga Parsadam Yagge Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Sumedasa. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. नानाशास्त्र विचारण के निपुणो सद्धर्म संस्थापको लोकानां हितकारिणो त्रिभुवने मान्य शरण्य करो राधा कृष्ण पदारविंद भजनान आनंदेन मत्तालिको वंदे रूप सनातन रघुजुगो श्रीजीव गोपालको. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis of Vrindavana, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the divine couple Sri Radha and Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiret. दष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. I once again I once again offer my obeisances to all the devotees who are attending the class. Now we'll start the class, that is lesson 122. But before that, let us recap the lesson which was covered yesterday, that is lesson 121.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, dear devotee, Dhanvat Swam. Prabhuji, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Let me make it full screen. screen. Okay. Yeah. Hope my screen share is okay.
Yes, yes, it is perfect.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. So yesterday was a wonderful session by Archana Mataji, Princess Archana Mataji, on the lesson 121 and chapter 83 of Canto 10 of Srimad Bhagavatam, sharing the title, which is Draupadi Meets the Queens of Krishna. So it reveals an array of profound thematic elements and philosophical insight centered on love. Love means our prema, which is our ultimate goal to Krishna. Valor means the bravery, and that's what there was a special point I learned yesterday, which was very interesting from Prabhuji's notes and what Mataji taught us. Divine intervention, like how Krishna interferes in each one's life for the betterment, and how did he do that for these eight queens? And intricate dance of destiny and devotion. Like through devotion, what happens to our destiny, that also we can understand from from the narration of these chapters. And this chapter and these themes, they explore those, explore. So we will explore these themes and learn from them, right? So I think Mataji started with a um, uh, very nice explanation of each of the eight principal queens of Krishna in Dwaraka and the challenges Krishna had uh, to to conquer them, starting with Queen Rukmini and then going through all the queens. Let us take the name. So first is Mother Queen Rukmini from Vidarbha, then Satyabhama, she was Satrajit's daughter, then Jambavati, Jamvan's daughter, and Kalindi, she's a daughter of Suryadev. Mitra Arvind, she is Avanti Krishna's cousin. Sorry, Mitra Arvind from Avanti, and she's actually related to Krishna in a way. And Nagna Jitti, which is Satya, then Bhadra and Lakshmana. So these were the eight principal queens, and for each of them, there was a unique, challenging obstacle, situation, story, pastime. But there was a key thing that was highlighted by everyone, which will go through these themes. So the first was divine love and devotion, right? So each of the queens had a special divine love, or the only desire for them was to attain Krishna, and for that they were willing to do anything, right? So that is the reason why then Krishna interfered and cleared all the obstacles to achieve them, right? So let's start with Queen Rukmani. What do we learn from her unique way she was, how she proactively prepared, as Mataji said. So what do we learn from her pastime? What does it showcase?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Prashant.
So, if you need Krishna, okay, Krishna's love, definitely we need sacrifices, Prabhu. Sacrifices from the time point of view, sacrifices from studying the scriptures, sacrificing for serving Guru, sacrificing required. Yeah, that is one of the key. And sometimes we have to take the bold decisions as well. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
And
Prabhuji,
yes,
I will
Prabhu.
add some.
Yes. Yes, Radhavinath Prabhu.
Yeah, okay. So, her is a really a nice story of how Rukmini wants to get achieved, and it was explained very nicely. In a mundane world, there is no pain, there is no gain. We always talk, unless until pain, then nothing is going to come. If that's true in material world, what about the spiritual, right? We are getting once a life opportunity, millions of birth we have spent, and we want to go back to where we know miseries. We don't want to get into the cycle of that. So the way Rukmini, and it was explained also, took bold decision, right? So before everything was odd against that. In devotional service also, just now Prabhuji was telling, right? There are many odds that in devotional service. If we compare here also, there were many odds. Brother was against, father was kind of both sides, right? Yes or no. And then there are Jarasanga and all those things were there. Despite that, took a bold decision and send their brahmanas, and and the Krishna comes up, right? So it shows that extraordinary to achieve the Krishna, the process is not easy. Krishna also sees your determination and your intention, right? Your longing for him. And it shows, it's a beautiful case how Rukmini showed all these characters right from the bravery till faith in him by just hearing about him, right? So this is
Yes.
a wonderful example on this.
Wonderful, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you. You summarized the whole pastime and wonderful glories of Queen Rukmini. Yes, both of you so nicely you mentioned, as Prasad Prabhu also said, bold action, significant sacrifice. So we might have to sacrifice something very dear to us. And as Mataji shared in the class yesterday also, and Prabhuji also mentioned. So with the coming Kartik month, let's be bold and do our best to signify, to sacrifice something, one thing which may be very, very significant or dear to us, right? And then take up one spiritual thing in that, give up the material one and take up a spiritual aspect in devotion. So that can increase our devotion and make the Lord happy. Okay. Then the next thing is valor and heroism. So this was a very unique point I heard about yesterday. Not that we did not know of, but it was very nicely highlighted here that Krishna's valor is not merely a trait, but defining the aspect of his identity. Means it's not, I mean, for a mortal human being or any other jiva for that aspect, valor or bravery is a quality that is in some quantity given to different person in different ratio. Right, someone may be so brave enough that he might fight thousands of people. Someone may be brave enough to fight or do something really brave. All of that comes from Krishna. So when we talk about Krishna, he's not just brave in terms of quality, quantity. He has that infinite, but that storehouse of all these qualities get definition through Krishna. So that is what Krishna is. And how do we apply that in our life? We must then, this is my understanding, this is then must help us increase our faith. All right, that is, there is no problem, no challenge that Krishna cannot solve just by his mere thought or mere action. Problems can go away. They are there. That means they are there for us to teach us a lesson. Krishna wants us to go through this so-called difficult time so that we become steadfast and reach him. So that was my understanding. No question on this, but yeah, just to highlight, this was very unique point in the whole uh, one of the many unique points in this whole learning and summary. Right. Then we go to destiny and divine intervention. Very nicely, Mataji said yesterday how it relates to theme of the Leela we have, which is for this Kartik month, we have this wonderful Leela, Damodar Leela. This is the main theme of Damodar Leela. There are two aspects here. So if somebody can tell me what are those two aspects highlighted here, which also correlate to the Damodar month, uh, what was the experience that we faced through? So what are the two aspects we learn over here in this theme?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, through
Yes, Prabhu.
austerities and hardships and divine grace.
Correct. So there is austerity, hardship, and divine grace. So this is the main point over here is personal effort, like our effort. As Mataji said yesterday, there are two, like the rope with which Mother Yashoda is trying to try Krishna falls always short of two fingers, right? So if somebody can elaborate what those two fingers relate to, what do they signify?
Kripa and prayas. That is,
Kripa. Correct.
yeah.
Correct. So that is, which is our Kripa is the grace here, right? And our personal effort is our own prayers or our own sadhana. So that's what the theme is about. So how each and every queen went through different situation, but and put their personal effort, but their goal is same, which is serving the Lord, and then Lord's divine grace helped them achieve. Right? Then the next theme again, sovereignty and empowerment, right? So again, that's the same thing. The true agency and empowerment are indispensable in love and relationship. The true agency here means our personal effort again, right? And then empowerment is the grace that we get, right? So that's a similar theme here. And then continuing unity in diversity. So again, this was like very different dimension or viewpoint we read yesterday, or at least I have felt. So uh, generally, we do understand that okay, we are all diverse jivas. We have our own karma, our own journey, our own desires, and we have a very unique relation with the Lord. But the united factor here is we all aim or must aim to make Krishna happy rather than make us happy. But herein we also saw a more elaborate view about unity in diversity. Can someone read through or share that part?
Embracing and celebrating individual journeys towards a shared goal.
Correct. Correct. So it's having that acceptance of the difference between each of us, right? So, and that's wonderful as well. Like as we perform this devotional service, someone may like to perform kirtan very well, someone may like to do chanting very well, or someone may like Prabhuji is here, he's so good into Shastra. So the each of one of us and Matajis are so good in Kirtan, so that's what make these classes and also all of the programs Prabhupada given us so unique that all different expertise come together, but the goal is one, which is to make Krishna happy, and then we become successful. And this is also um, a deeper concept that comes from our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes,
So
Prabhu.
just go back to the previous one. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, here it's a very one word, it's a very catchy word. True unity is not about uniformity. It's a very
Yes.
nice word, right?
Yes.
So always we think that everybody will worship the same way. Here we see that different queens, they have different approaches, right? Somebody comes from different backgrounds and all that. So you can be different, your level can start different. Somebody can do a good arti, somebody can do good preaching, somebody can do something else, good cooking. But the focus is on that. That is called unity, right? That word is a very,
Yes.
very nicely explained in this, and I like that very much. So it is not the uniformity of the same, but everybody is going towards the same purpose, shared goal. I
Correct.
think that's very nice
Correct.
word. Yeah, Prabhu.
Correct, Prabhu. Yeah, and that's important that we accept every single jiva as they are and not judge them, right? So it's a very deep word. Like still, I cannot understand what does it mean by judging people, but my interpretation is people may be from different diverse background. They may have their own path or journey. They may be ISKCON devotee, non-ISKCON devotee, whatever they are there and they have a unique relation with Krishna. So we do our best to help ourselves, help them to be more, uh, have to empower them to service the Lord, but we don't judge them or make a distinction of how good he is or how bad he is. And I mean, good is okay, but like how bad he is and also that is that. Let's not judge people. They may be great devotees, while they may be like Bhagavatam tells us so nicely, right? There's so many people who may, or so many jivas who may not look devotee, but they are actually great devotees. Like the favorite I have is who's the demon who challenges Indra in Canto 7? Forget that name.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Yes,
celebrating in different ways
correct,
and to achieve one goal, to seek
correct.
divine power only.
Yes, ma'am.
But
Yeah.
their ways
And,
are
and also we should respect all the paths, okay, and encourage wherever possible. Okay, Prabhuji. Okay.
Correct,
And we should
correct,
not
ma'am.
judgmental also. Yeah. That's very
Yes,
important.
yes.
Because this little mind try to judge so many times, Prabhu. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes. So let's continue then. So I think we covered all these questions. What specific challenge each queen faced in their journey to unite with Krishna? I think Mataji went through deeply, but the key thing here is, um, there should be resolute determination, which Prabhuji always says, goal, desire, determination, and profound devotion, and then we will be able to achieve our goal, which is the Krishna Prem. How do Queen's background influence their relation with Krishna and express of devotion? So we just discussed that in great length here. In what ways do themes of divine intervention and personal agency interact with the narratives of the Queen? Yeah. So again, this also similarly we discussed that. So we'll go to the next set of themes, which is 1 to 3. There are 3 more themes here from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commentary. So first is nature of divine relationship, right? So this again, I cannot come up with a question, but this was again a unique learning here that Krishna was not something very distinct, far away person staying only, like Mataji said yesterday, only in Golokdham and not available to us, but rather he is continuously with us as in different stages, like how we realize him as Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagwan, and he is encouraging us and he is influencing our life depending on how much we allow him to control us. Right? The more we are devoted, the more we allow the Lord to uh, grace and interfere, then the Lord will be happily choosing to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, Prabhuji,
Any comments? Yes.
I just want to add, like yesterday, Prasad Prabhu he went to Pandharpur, right? The full of
Yes.
stories. You see
Yes. Yes.
different things in Krishna in Vrindavan. He has a one set of leelas there, but in Pandharpur, different devotees, different castes, different creeds, rich and all that. Non-brahmanas, ladies. For all poor, he has a personal relation, Vithala.
Yes.
And so many things are there, and that is a really a live example that how he interacts. He doesn't expect everything the best that he wants. He is being Lord. He is happy with whatever little bit of you offer to him, right? So based on your ability, and that Vittal is a ideal example that I see. How he reciprocates devotee. So again, the same thing is not a distant reality. He connects with you right from the morning to the evening. That is shown
Yes.
with that temple, the Pandharpur.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Prabhu.
Oh,
Hare
yes. Prasad Prabhu was so wonderful. Always, like even yesterday was so unique. So also that reminds me one aspect since we were hearing a lot about Ramayana in the past days, like when the monkey army or the Vanar Sena of the Ram is building the bridge, and Hanuman is bringing huge, huge boulders and mountain. But there's a small squirrel. All of you would have heard that story. That small little squirrel is putting little bit of sand, right? Um, so at that point, very rarely this happens, but Hanuman like tries to say, "Oh, get away! Let me put mine is more important." But then Lord Ram quickly intervenes and says, "No, no, 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 that is wrong, right? What you're doing is you're putting your 100%. What that squirrel is doing is putting her 100% or his 100%, and both of you are equally dear to me." So that aspect back there, comparing or competing against each other, that's not right. We must be comparing always against our own self, if at all we want to. But if we're giving our 100%, then Lord will be happy.
happy.
So
Perfect.
that's how he's so
Perfect.
related to
Wonderful
us.
point, Prabhu. Sanjay Prabhu, wonderful point.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, Prabhu. And then the next theme again, concept of surrender. So again, no question here, but again, the point here is from each of the queens. This was wonderfully mentioned by Mataji and in the chapter that every queen is only happy to see herself as a maid servant of the Lord. No queen says that, I am a princess, I am Rajkumari. No, 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 no. Krishna accepted me as a maid servant. So fully humble, fully committed, and fully surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord. So that was wonderful theme across all the principal queens, and actually we see that across all the devotees of the Lord, as we see, like Srila Prabhupada also, so many times we heard the pastime, for his life pastime. At the age of 69, he goes with a book full of Bhagavatam, that's all, nothing else. But that is surrender. That is his surrender that, okay, my Guru Maharaj has given me the order. I have to go to Western country and preach. And now whatever Krishna makes me do, it's okay. Whatever happens to me, okay. But I have surrendered myself to the order of the Guru Maharaj. So, so wonderful, right? So much to learn.
Yeah,
And
Prabhuji,
then,
also on the,
yes,
yeah.
yes, Prabhu, please finish.
Yeah,
your
so
thought.
again here on the surrender point, we are talking about awe and reverence, right? That is how the Dwarkadish is here, Krishna. So
Yes,
somebody was happy to just sweeping the floor of the palace of the Lord, right? Somebody's at the lotus feet, and that is the really humility, and that is the Dwarka, right? Aishwarya Bhav also we see each queen shows their own way. And as you said, they are not ordinary; they have come from princely families, right?
correct.
So despite all that, they are serving very nicely there. Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
yes, Prabhu. Wonderful. Yeah, that was key learning there. And with that, then the next is power of divine grace, right? So we again see that these commentary they emphasize how Krishna's actions, like rescuing this queen and rescuing the queens from the difficult situation and fulfilling the desire, they are the manifestation of his divine grace. So through that, Krishna graces them. And for us, our life, uh, what is the manifestation of divine grace? Again, yesterday we saw that we are so fortunate enough that we are getting to be part of this so glorious parampara, Brahma Adav Gaudiya Sampradaya, and we are born in that one day of Lord Brahma, the seventh Manu, when Krishna appeared. After Krishna, Lord Chaitanya appeared. After Lord Chaitanya, all the wonderful acharyas have appeared, and Srila Prabhupada has appeared, and then he has written this Bhagavatam, which we can read so easily, right? So the only difficulty is in our mind, but here it is again to clear that up also. Then people like Prabhuji, wonderful devotees like Prabhuji, Sir Prabhu come, then they clear our mind so we can fully engage ourselves. So thank you. And then the role of illusion and reality. Right? So here let us try to see if we can get a question here. Yes. So what, let me put it in a question like format here. So what do we understand from Krishna's pastime? What is the role of illusion or Maya, and what is the role of Yoga Maya, like the Yoga Maya and Maha Maya? What do you understand from the pastimes here? And the Queen story. Anybody wants to do a try? Maybe Nityasaki Mataji? No. Who else is there? Yes. Or Dipti Mataji or Rajkumari Mataji? Anybody want to try and read through?
Here, it shows in the material world how we can maintaining his divine essence. We can keep the relationship between illusion and reality, in illusion and reality through Bhagwan realization.
Correct. Good. This is the main Gaudiya Vaishnava teachings. Thank you, Mataji. So, like how Krishna Janma Karma Che Divyam, like his birth, acts, and qualities, they are all transcendental. Just by hearing about that will take us or elevate us that we understand from this. And then the next theme now, second last year, ecstasy in devotion. So again, no questions here, but simple one here. The more we hear to Bhagavatam attentively, the more we perform our sadhana attentively, the more bliss we get, and that bliss will help us to perform more sadhana more correctly. So love for the divine leads to overwhelming bliss and transcend the material suffering that often confines our human existence. So there's a huge um, set of challenges we face or problem we face. That is because we accept something that is not real or something that is not relevant to us, that is his material body. But if we take effort to stay in our true consciousness, or reunite ourselves to regenerate our relationship with the Lord and stay in the spiritual context, then we will be more and more happy. And the final and the best thing, always relevant to us, humility and selflessness. So we have to be humble enough and perform the devotion in that. And so many times we have discussed the third verse of Sikshashtakam, Trinadapi Sunichina. So that from the context of the queens, they never claim their dominion or control over Krishna. And this shows their main fundamental principle of devotion, which is selflessness and humility. So with that learning, we have to try and serve the Lord. Okay, and what is the desire they have? Their desire is only prema bhakti, or the ultimate goal. So they have this heartfelt longing throughout to serve the lotus feet of the Lord, and like to be the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. And that's a common theme among all the devotees. Right? And with that, then does Krishna treat them as a maid servant or keep them as a servant? No. Krishna gives back the uniqueness of his love is it is unparalleled, encompassing all the beings in the universe. It's not that just there's no partiality here in one sense. Krishna is accessible, available to all. He has given the path. We are the ones who have to choose that. Right. So finally, the questions again. I think we covered what specific qualities or traits do the queen possess to make their relationship with Krishna unique. We covered all that. How does Krishna's divine play impact the everyday lives of his devotees beyond the queen mentioned? That also, like Radhavana Prabhu nicely described. In what way can devotion modern practitioners of devotion embody the principles illustrated by the queens in their relationship? So even in our case, as we today, how can we apply that? As we say, there are these two aspects, uh, our prayers and Lord's grace. So we have to do our prayers and follow the instructions given by Srila Prabhupada to our best ability, and uh, associate with the other devotees, and that shows our unity in diversity. Okay. I think I am done, and then let's hand over to Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Haribol. Haribol, Sanjeev Prabhu. So wonderfully summarized here.
Yes, thank
Okay,
you.
within 20, 25 minutes. Very nice, bro. Very, very
Your
nice.
greatness. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Sanjay Prabhuji. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful done.
Now,
Yes,
we saw in the earlier class how Draupadi meets the queens of Dwarka. Now, here we'll see what what Lord Krishna teaches to the sages at Kurukshetra. Now, this is lesson 122, 123. This will be covering chapter 84, the sages' teachings at Kurukshetra. The great union of the Yadavas with the Pandavas and the Brajavasis at Kurukshetra during the solar eclipse, where and when they all went to Samanta Panchaka. Now, Kurukshetra, that is also known as Samanta Panchaka. And as you know, the Brajavasis, the Dwarkavasis, everybody, they went there and they met. We go to the next slide. Now here the sages teachings at Kurukshetra. And now this lectures 122 and 123 will be covering this chapter 84. The first 27 verses they describe about the divine praise and wisdom. And then 28 to 54, performance of Vedic sacrifice to worship Lord Vishnu to counter fruitive karmas. Part of it will be covered in 122, and part of it will be covered in 123. And in 123, the bonds of affection, all these things will see in greater detail. But before we start, in 3-4 minutes, I'll give a gist of what is given in this chapter 84 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10. Now, this chapter 84, it describes the arrival of very great sages at Kurukshetra. Why? To observe the auspicious occasion of a solar eclipse. And there, what happened? The sages' glorification of Lord Krishna and Vasudeva's enthusiastic performance of sacrifices. We'll see them in detail. Now, please remember that at that time, Lord Krishna and Balrama were living peacefully in the great city of Dwarka, and there was a rare occasion of a full solar eclipse, which generally takes at the end of every kalpa, that is a day of Brahma. And at the end of every kalpa, the sun is covered by a great cloud, and the rains cover the lower planetary systems up to Swargaloka. And by astronomical calculation, people were informed about the great eclipse prior to its taking place, and therefore everyone, both men and women, that decided to assemble at the holy place known as Kurukshetra, and also this is known as Samanta Panchaka also. And Kurukshetra, as you know, it is about 160 kilometers from Delhi. And taking advantage of the occasion of the solar eclipse, all important persons from all parts of Bharatavarsha, they visited the holy place of pilgrimage. And because almost all the members of the Yadu dynasty went to Kurukshetra, some important personalities like Aniruddha, the son of Pradyumna, and Kritavarma, the commander-in-chief of the Yadu dynasty, along with Suchandra, Sukha, Sarana, they remained in Dwarka to protect the city. Now, you may be remembering one of the very famous verses by Rupa Goswami in his Padyavali concerning this the Kurukshetra, and Mataji also had covered in one of the classes the meaning. I'll just tell a little more about it. What Jiva Goswami said, Rupa Goswami said in that verse, Priyasoham Krishna Sahachari Kurukshetra Militas, and that 4-line verse, it says, Radharani is saying, this is the same beloved Krishna meeting me here in Kurukshetra, and I am the same Radha, and both of us are feeling the joy of union. Even so, my mind wishes for the wooded banks of Yamuna, where the fifth note of Krishna's flute reverberated sweetly within my heart. Now, the gopis, the Brajavasis, they were actually feeling out of place in Kurukshetra because the atmosphere was a little different. Okay, what happened on this occasion of the solar eclipse at Kurukshetra? Enchanted ladies like Kunti, Draupadi, Subhadra, they also got a chance to associate with Krishna's queens, and seeing how much the Lord's consorts, wives, they loved their husband, the ladies were struck with wonder. And as the women talked among themselves, the men also likewise talked among themselves, and great sages headed by Narada, Vyasadeva, they arrived there because they wanted to see Krishna, and the various kings and the other leading personalities who were sitting at their leisure, including the Pandavas, the Krishna, Balrama, they stood up as they saw the sages, and the leaders all they bowed down to the great souls, inquired about their well-being, and worshipped them by offering them sitting places, water, and all that. Then Lord Krishna said that our lives are successful, for we have obtained the goal of life, the audience of the sages, and which even the demigods can rarely obtain. And the water at a holy place of pilgrimage and the deity forms of the demigods can purify one after a long time. But saintly sages purify just by seeing, being seen. And after hearing Lord Krishna speaking these words, the sages they remained silent for some time. Then they said, how amazing our Lord is. He covers his true identity with human-like activities and pretends to be subject to superior control. Surely he has spoken in this way to enlighten all of us, the general populace. And the sages, they continued to glorify the Lord, the supreme personality of Godhead. And after the sages had praised him, Lord Krishna offered them his obeisances and they begged his permission to return to their hermitages. But just then Vasudeva came forward, bowed to the sages and asked, what activities can one perform to be freed from the bondage of fruitive work? Now the sages replied that by worshipping the Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Hari, through the performance of Vedic sacrifices, you will become free from the bondage of fruitive work. Vasudeva then requested the sages to act as his priest and arranged for the Vedic sacrifices to be performed with excellent paraphernalia. Then thereafter what happened, unable to depart because of his intense affection for his relatives, Nanda Maharaj, he remained at Kurukshetra for 3 months and served with reverence by the Yadus. And on one occasion, Vasudeva began to describe the deep friendship Nanda had shown toward him. And at the end of 3 months, Nanda then left for Mathura with the fond farewells of the Yadavas. And when the Yadavas finally saw that the rainy season was about to begin, that is Chaturmasya, they returned to Dwarka, where they related all that what had happened at Kurukshetra to the residents of the capital. Let us go on to the next slide. Okay, the left portion I am reading. This passage unveils profound thematic elements that resonate deeply with Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophical principles, accentuating the essence of divinity, the transformative power of associating with saintly beings, and the stark contrast between material and spiritual realities, and the indispensable role of devotion in attaining an understanding of the Supreme. We will see all these with some context. Now, here, this 84th chapter, it starts with Sukadev Goswami saying that Kunti, Gandhari, Draupadi, Subhadra, and the wives of the other kings and the lords, and the coward girlfriends, that the gopis, and they were all amazed to hear the queen's deep love for Krishna. They knew that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, the soul of all beings. And seeing this, their eyes were filled with tears. And here what had happened, Draupadi was the chief hearer in that assembly of that exalted personalities. And this we have seen in great detail. Then what happened? As these women, they talked about themselves and the men among themselves, a number of great sages arrived there. Who were they? They were Krishna Dvayana, Vyasa, Narada, Chyavana, Devala, Asita, Vishwamitra, Satananda. Who was Satananda? Anybody can tell? Satananda.
Prabhuji, no, I
One
never
of
heard that.
I hear that in that Satyanarayan Katha from this sage name, right?
No.
Shataran.
Okay. I'll tell. Satananda was the son of Ahalya and Gautama, and he was the Kulapurohit of Nimi Vansa. Okay. And as you know, Ahalya is one of the 5 Panchakanyas. Okay, then the other sages were Bharadwaja, Gautama, Parashurama, like this, Markandeya, Brihaspati, Yajnavalkya, Vamadeva, like this. And as soon as they saw the sages approaching, the kings and the other gentlemen who had been seated, they stood up, including the Pandavas and including Krishna and Balrama. Now you see the respect everybody is offering to all these sages when they came there, and we'll know more about these sages, the saints, and all that. Now, Lord Krishna and Balrama and the other kings, they worshipped the sages, and after the sages were comfortably seated, Krishna, who protects the religious principles, he addressed them. And the Supreme Lord, he said, now our lives are indeed successful, for we have obtained our life's ultimate goal. He is referring to Sadhu Sangha, the audience of the great sages, which even demigods only rarely obtain. And despite the great privileges the demigods enjoy as administrators of the universe, they rarely see such sages as Narada and Vyasadeva. And how much rarer then must be for the earthly kings and the coward boys, coward men who had come there. Okay, going through the slide. The first point, the divine nature. At its core, the text vividly illustrates Lord Krishna's transcendental essence, showcasing his unique ability to engage in human-like pastimes while remaining the supreme personality of Godhead. Everybody knows that he is the supreme personality of Godhead, but since he had descended to this material world, he was behaving as if he is a normal human being. And this remarkable duality highlights Krishna as both immanent and transcendent, the cornerstone of Gaudiya Vaishnava thought. His actions serve a higher purpose. What is the higher purpose? To guide humanity towards spiritual truths. If he won't guide, then others will not follow him. That's why he is doing all these things to guide all of us and revealing his divine mercy and profound pedagogical role. And now, please remember that he is doing this for what purpose? It is because of his mercy he is doing. Though he is all in all, he is the greatest being in this complete creation, still he is behaving like a normal human being. It is also given in the Bhagavatam. How is it that people who are not very austere, who recognize God only in his deity forms of demigods in the temple, can now see you, touch you, inquire from you, bow down to you, worship your feet, and serve you in so many ways? Now, then the most important point here comes, point number 2, association with saintly beings. The sages express profound awe at the privilege of associating with Krishna. Now, Krishna is worshipping them, and the sages, in their turn, they have not forgotten that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. So they are also worshipping him, they are also showing respect to him, understanding that such divine proximity purifies them far more effectively than mere rituals or physical pilgrimages. The sages, they keep on doing physical pilgrimages and also rituals which are given in the Vedas, but coming in front of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, seeing the Supreme Lord in front of them is much more important. They have realized this. And this realization echoes the Gaudiya belief that proximity to saintly individuals, sadhu sangha, is not just advantageous, but it is essential for genuine spiritual advancement. That's why we all should try to associate with saintly persons. And the sages' recognition of Krishna's supremacy as the source of their perfection powerfully illustrates the transformative potential of divine association, offering hope and inspiration to spiritual seekers. Now, what is happening here? In the 11th verse, as I was mentioning yesterday, and I have also said today, it is saying that mere bodies of water are not the real sacred places of pilgrimage. Like people go to visit the or go to the to take bath in the Ganges or in Yamuna or in other places. But there, these sacred places, they cannot atone the sins and other things in a short period of time. These sages, they purify one instantly. When one sees them, one is instantly purified. And if you are able to see a pure devotee, you are immediately purified. So our job is to look for one. Now, I had cited this verse, Naiham Mayani Tirthani Nadeva Mruchila Maya Te Punyanti Urukalena Darshanadeva Sadhava. Meaning, no one can deny that there are holy places with sacred rivers or that the demigods appear in deity forms made of earth and stone. But these purify the soul only after a long time, whereas saintly persons they purify just by seeing them. Now, I had said this is given in 3-4 places in the Srimad Bhagavatam. I had asked you to find out. Archana Mataji has already given them. I am totally satisfied. Anybody else has found out in which all other verses the same meaning or the same verse is there in Srimad Bhagavatam?
Prabhuji, I could get 10.48.31.
Okay. Any other? Any other? Okay. Okay, it is exactly the same, that is 10:48:31, but there is a slight difference in 12:10:23. This is there 12:10:23. It says, Nayam Mayani Tirthani Nadeva Prachilamaya Te Punarturkalena Swiyang Darsana Matrataha. Meaning, but devotees like you purify immediately just by seeing. Here, the first verse here, as you know, Lord Krishna is telling the sages in Kurukshetra. The second verse, which is 10:48:31, there Krishna is telling Arjuna the same verse. And the third instance, that is 12:10:23, here Lord Shiva is telling Markandeya Muni. And there is still another verse, 1:13:10. There Yudhishthira Maharaj is telling Akrura that, my lord, devotees like your good self are verily holy places personified, because you carry the personality of Supreme Personality of Godhead within your heart. You turn all places into places of pilgrimage. This is told by Yudhishthira Maharaj to Akrura Maharaj. Okay, as we have seen, because the personality of Godhead is totally absolute, the Supreme Spirit, any representation of Him, whether manifested in a stone, paint, sound, or any other authorized medium, is none different from His original form as he is existing in the spiritual planet Golok Vrindavana. But ordinary demigods are not absolute beings because they are infinitesimal spiritual souls. This is to be remembered. Then what happened? We know that the wise sages, they destroy one's sins when respectfully served for even a few moments. Therefore, we should try to find out where are these sages And if you see them, even if he has not seen you, you are totally purified. But the association with advanced sages, either directly or by hearing their instructions, is recommended here in this Srimad Bhagavatam. A new devotee, a neophyte devotee may be free from the more obvious sins of violence against innocent creatures and against his own body and mind. But until he becomes very advanced on the devotional path, he must always be contended with the contaminations of false pride, disrespect toward respectable Vaishnavas, and lack of compassion for suffering creatures. The best remedy for these symptoms of immaturity is to hear from and honor pure Vaishnavas and to assist them in working to deliver the fallen conditioned souls. This is very, very important. And one who identifies himself as the inert body composed of mucus, bile, and air, and things of his family as his everything. Such person is no better than a cow or an ass, that is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And there is another verse also given in the Brihaspati Samhita, which says that men who do not know the principles of devotional service to the Supreme Lord should be known as cows and asses, even if they are expert in technically analyzing the Vedic mantras. Like all these things are there, we should study them. And thereafter, what happens, Sukadeva Goswami is trying to say that hearing such words from the unlimitedly wise Lord Krishna, the learned Brahmanas, they remained silent and their minds were totally bewildered. And for some time, the sages, they pondered over them. And on this, Sridhar Swami explains that uh, to being under the law of karma or obliged to work and experience the result of one's work, one should accept the supreme personality of Godhead and consider himself as subordinate living being. The personality of Godhead is also the supreme teacher of spiritual surrender. And the sages have characterized the Lord's statements as Divya, that is inscrutable. And how this is to be stated here, his words and activities, they bewilder even the most learned persons. And then what happens? We'll see, go to the next slide and see what is there. Okay, divine nature at its core. The text vividly illustrates Lord Krishna's transcendental essence, showcasing his unique ability to engage in human-like pastimes while remaining supreme personality of God. And what I was talking earlier, he is the supreme Lord, but he always behaves as if he is a common man because he does not want his identity to be known to the common people, that is the non-devotees. This is the reason. And this remarkable duality highlights Krishna as both immanent and transcendent. And this is the cornerstone of Gaudiya Vaishnava thought. And his actions serve as a higher purpose to guide humanity towards spiritual truths, revealing his mercy and profound pedagogical role. We'll see this in greater detail slightly later. And associating with saintly beings, the sages express profound awe and privilege of associating with Krishna, understanding that such divine proximity purifies them far more effectively than mere rituals or physical pilgrimages. The realization echoes the Gaudiya belief that proximity to saintly individual sadhu sangha is not just advantageous but essential for genuine spiritual advancement. The sages' recognition of Krishna's supremacy as the source of their perfection powerfully illustrates the transformative potential of divine association, offering hope and inspirational spiritual seekers. Now, as we saw in the first point, that is point number 3, the three higher purposes, what are they? The guide, mercy, the three things I said, their action to guide humanity towards spiritual truths, then revealing his mercy, and pedagogical role, this means methods and theory of teaching. Now, in the fourth point, we see this regarding associating with the sages. Now, this thing we discussed sometime earlier also. Can we associate also in another way? Because we are involved in so many activities in our own place. It is not very convenient for all of us to go to the holy places where sadhus are there. Yes, in this present world, virtual association is also possible. Yes, it is also effective, but it is less effective than physical association. Like we go to a place of pilgrimage and we meet the sadhus, we see the sadhus, that is more effective than when we associate with them virtually. Why? Because the atoms of spiritual matter, they emanate, they do not reach us physically when we try to associate with them virtually. But still it is advantageous. Therefore, if we are not able to go to all these places, associate with the people, then virtually what is coming in the by the technology, we should try to associate ourselves. This is advantageous. This should be remembered. Then we go to the next slide. The role of scriptures. The sages' acknowledgement of the Vedas as the heart of Krishna serves as a powerful testament to the inherent connection between sacred scripture and understanding the divine. How to understand the Supreme Lord? This is given by the Supreme Lord in the Vedas, in the Vedic literature. The Vedas and the other literature which explain about the Vedas. That's why they are same as the Supreme Lord. And that's what the sages are saying. And this underscores the vital importance of Vedic study and adherence to spiritual principles as a pathway to grasping Krishna's nature. It affirms the belief that through scriptures, practitioners can uncover profound truths about existence and the Supreme, thereby enriching and illuminating their supreme journey. We know that our scriptures, they are known as Shastra. And since the Vedic wisdom was first transmitted orally, it is also called Sabda Brahman, the spiritual sound. And according to tradition, it was written down only when human memory began to deteriorate at the start of Kali Yuga about 5,000 years back. But they are existing eternally. That is the Vedas, Vedic literature, they are existing eternally. The Sabda Brahman is considered the most reliable form of authority for spiritual and related matters. However, it is not simply an authoritarian system of belief and tends to synthesize religious commitment with open philosophical inquiry. It acknowledges the need for exploration and the realization of knowledge. We should understand them and practice them in our lives. And without appropriate conduct and values, informational and experimental knowledge will be misconstrued. And many schools, they claim orthodoxy based on their adherence to Shastra. Thus, it remains a powerful source of authority and cohesion. Now, the very important things about this Shastra is the principal source of authority and Vedic knowledge was passed down orally till Kali Yuga began, and the written form became necessary thereafter. Therefore, you find in very many literature that are so and so Veda, so and so Upanishad, it was written so many hundred years or thousand years back. It is because of this reason, but they have been existing eternally. They were not in a written form earlier. Now the Vedic scriptures, they are also known as Apaurushaya. They have no human author. They originate from the Supreme Lord only. And as I said, the Vedas are Shabda Brahma, the direct words of God revealed at the time of creation. And when we buy any electronic or household appliance, we get an instruction manual. Similarly, at creation, the God gave us the Vedic literature for direction on how to behave in this world. And that is what is the Vedic literature. That's why these Vedic literature, they have to be followed. And in this Vedic literature, which are the most important, the Bhagavad Gita, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Srimad Bhagavatam. And actually, if somebody says the Lord, Supreme Lord, he has written this Vedic literature, that will not be very correct. The Vedas, they are in the inhalation and exhalation of the Supreme Lord. And how can we say that some portions of the Vedas they assigned to various rishis like Sukla Yajur Veda to Yajnavalkya like this? The reason is these Vedic literature they have been existing from ages, but they were revealed to certain sages. That's why they are associated with the names of these rishis. This is the meaning. Like if I give a simple example, we have already studied in the 10th canto the Gopi Geet. Now, Gopi Geet, do you think the gopis they had practiced this Gopi Geet together with instruments and others, and when Krishna he disappeared, all of them started singing? No, it didn't happen that way. It was not written by anyone. It appeared in their hearts and spontaneously they sang. That's why it is so special to us. And as we know, the scriptures contain many facts that one cannot explain without understanding that they were divine revelation. And most of the Europeans they believe I'll give some examples only. The earth is flat, but the Vedas present from the beginning of time they revealed that earth is round, Bhugol, and Christopher Columbus did not know 500 years ago that there were 7 continents. But our Vedic literature, they say that Einstein discussed the relative relationship between space and time some time ago only. But all these things they are given in our Bhagavatam and the other literature. This theory of relativity is already there. The Life magazine published photographs of conception and the development of the embryo only recently. But the Garbha Upanishad, the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Kapila Devahuti Samvad, all these things are already there. That means all knowledge is already there in our Vedic literature, and there is nothing more which can be created. Okay, the next point we'll see. The thematic elements illuminated in this passage accentuate Krishna's divine essence, the transformative potential of engaging with saintly beings, the clear distinction between illusion and spiritual truth, the central role of devotion and realizing the sacred, and the critical importance of scriptures in grasping spiritual realities. So that's why to understand all these things, to understand devotional service, to understand the spiritual truth, the the Shastras, they are most important. And these insights reflect the heart of Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, which champions personal devotion and the rational, relational aspect of Lord God. Means we have to love the Supreme Lord as one of our relations, standing in stark contrast to the more abstract, non-dual interpretations found in Advaita Vedanta philosophy of the Jnanis and Advaita Vedanta, as you know, they believe in the ultimate reality for them is Nirguna Brahman, attributeless. But for us, the devotees, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And what is the nature of reality? For us, it is qualified non-dualism, achintya bheda veda. And the Advaitas, they believe in non-dualism. And what about the individual self? Eternally, we believe for the devotees, it is eternally distinct from Krishna, but qualitatively similar. But the yes, Prabhu.
Advaita. What is Dvaita? There is duality. What we believe versus this Vedantist, I think it's a good idea to let people know clearly Dvaita versus Advaita. Advaita means opposite of it. Monism, the theory of monism is Shankaracharya, whereas Dvaita that starts from different devotees. Go ahead, please explain that.
Yes, Prabhu. Now, what the devotees say and what the Advaita Vedanta say about this world, material world, the Advaita Vedanta, they say, Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. That means the neither real nor unreal, but apparent. But what we say, it is real creation of Krishna, but it is temporary and it is not illusory, it is temporary only. And there are various other things like the scriptures which are emphasized for us, the devotees, the Dvaita Vedanta, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and for the Advaita Vedanta, the Upanishads, Brahma Sutras like this, and the views of other paths. The other paths are inferior to bhakti, that's what we say. But what the Advaita Vedanta says, the other paths can be preparatory, but unlimitedly limited, ultimately limited. And what about the concept of Maya? What we believe Krishna's Maya is Krishna's energy that creates the material world. It is an energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the Advaita Vadis, they say it is Brahman's power. Maya veils the truth in reality. And what is the goal of life for us? To revive one's dormant love for Krishna. And what the
No, let me explain. Because what I asked is difference between Dvaita and Advaita. Advaita means monism. So the fundamental difference between Advaitavadis and Dvaitavadis is this. See, they believe the Brahman. Okay, Brahman means this Nirguna Brahman with no form, no qualities. So they don't differentiate the individual Jivatma and the Supreme. So in order to differentiate the Bhaktas, the Dvaitavadis philosophy is that this Dvaita means there is a Brahman, okay, both are Brahman, but to differentiate, they differentiate by saying that we are Brahman, okay, but the Supreme Lord, who is a person with attributes, he is Para Brahman, okay. So you see that Dvaita means duality, means there is a duality of an individual soul and then there is a supreme soul, Paramatman. Okay, so that's a fundamental difference. And what they say, the Advaitavadis, that this Brahman, when it comes under the influence of Maya, then they get distracted, and then they become Jivatmas. Okay, and then Jivatmans, when they release from Maya's influence. And how do that? They believe is by Vedanta studies, by studies of the Vedanta, and then they become same. The jiva, individual jiva, becomes Paramatma. It means they become. That means they are ridiculous thing. They are saying that we ourselves become just like the supreme soul, and that is we devotees, Dvaitavadis, don't believe that at all. So that is the fundamental difference. And why I asked this question, why I asked Prabhuji to explain, because we are going to address the 12th canto, that issue is going to revisit, and we have to understand very clearly, and that is the difference between the Vivartavada philosophy, that is the Advaitavadis believe, whereas the devotees, they don't directly but partially support this what called Parinamavada philosophy. Okay, we'll go through that, but right now it suffices to understand the duality is means there's a distinction between individual Jivatma and the Paramatma. Okay? Haribol.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. You had explained this so nicely during our Sat Sandarbhas course also. Now, the final thing is spiritual practices. For us, it is chanting, deity worship, devotional service, and for them, it is self-inquiry, meditation, scriptural study, like this. Okay, we go to the next slide. All the things, three questions, instructive questions and answers. What specific practices can one engage in to cultivate proximity to saintly beings and enhance spiritual advancement? This is very, very important. What should be done to effectively draw closer to saintly beings and elevate spiritual advancement? Consider engaging in meaningful practices such as attending spiritual gatherings and discourses regularly. That means hearing. What we have been doing in these classes, it is hearing. This is sadhu sangha only. And participate in devotional activities alongside like-minded individuals and actively seek guidance from seasoned spiritual mentors.
Now,
And that is
what is like-minded people? What is like-minded people?
like-minded people means all those who are believing in the same principle. Like in ISKCON, there is a given philosophy and given by Srila Prabhupada, and all of us are accepting that that is true. If you go to some other, even Vaishnava Sampradayas, their things are little different. Their belief is little different. Like we believe Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. In Sri Vaishnava system, they believe Narayana is everything. Narayana is the originator, and from Narayana, Krishna has come. Krishna is an incarnation of Narayana, like this. If you go to different paths, their things are much different. That's why we should participate with the people who are like-minded. That means who believe in the same type of philosophy. And this will and take guidance from seniors, those who are senior in the system, and moreover cultivating genuine humility. Humility we have heard in so many places. The first quality a Vaishnava should have is humility only, because it creates an enriching environment conducive to experiencing the profound benefits. Unless one is humble, he will not be able to accept what is given in the Shastras. Like I remember many, many years back when the Sat Sandarbha class started, 108 devotees had um, they had registered, but hardly 15-20 had volunteered to join the class. And in the very first class, one of the devotees, he questioned the scriptures only. And Charu Prabhuji told him, if you do not believe in our scriptures, then there is no point in progressing any further, and that person he didn't attend the classes thereafter. This I remember. Now, conducive to experience the profound benefits of sadhu sangha. Sadhu sangha, we have been speaking about sadhu sangha in so many chapters in Srimad Bhagavatam, and we should know that the lifeline of a Vaishnava is sadhu sangha only. And the
We
opposite,
discussed that special point, especially in Madhurya Kadambini, you know. Shri
yes,
Vishwanath
yes,
Chakravarti explains so clearly about that.
opening both the mind and the heart to significant spiritual growth. That means if we want spiritual growth, we want to change our mind and heart, then we should believe in sadhu sangha and participate in the gathering of the sadhus. And like if it is not possible physically very often, then it should be done through these technologies which are available in the present world. Then question number 2, how does one effectively navigate the challenges of illusion? Now, why illusion is there? Why illusion has been created, rather set by the Supreme Lord for us? Because either you have to go after the Supreme Lord, or you have to go after the illusion that is Maya Devi. And there is no other, there is no third path in this material world. In daily life, while striving for spiritual realization, navigating the ever-present challenges of illusion. Illusion is there everywhere, and in the material world, nobody can be excluded from that, which can easily divert one from spiritual truths. And when one encounters Maya, he is diverted from the actual path and then demands a high level of mindfulness and self.
Let me remind you, Sharad Prabhuji is going to give a couple of lectures on Markandeya Rishi. He actually wanted to see Maya, Krishna's Maya, and Krishna has a very interesting way to show Maya. Remember that Sharad Prabhuji is going to talk about about that couple. I think 2 or 3 lectures are there, right?
Yes.
We are going to revisit all these issues. These 3 questions are there. We are going to revisit in quarter 12, of course, you know. And there I spent a lot of time how we Advaitavadis and Dvaitavadis, they've been fighting for century now, you know. But there is a way to integrate these two, and we can find a middle ground actually that, you know, that we'll talk about it, okay? But this Markanda Rishi, Krishna shows in a very interesting way for the Maya potency about that. And he is the only one who has seen the player, the ultimate player, and 7 times he saw that, you know, 7 kalpas actually.
Yes.
Go ahead. Again, I apologize for this interruption. It's a direct connection with that. What is yet to come, we are going to go at much greater depth. This is what is being discussed here, you know.
You heard about Markandeya Rishi, and as opposed to that, Sukadeva Goswami, he did not want to come out of the mother's womb because Maya is there in this world till he was promised by none other than Krishna. So all these things we'll see in that class, and there I'll also tell you the real story of a Brahmana in Jagannath Puri, how he encountered Maya because he wanted to see Maya. All these things we'll see later on. Okay, we'll go in this. Employ powerful techniques such as meditation, self-reflection, and dedicated engagement with enlightening spiritual literature to help identify and overcome these distractions. Now, because of Maya, we encounter distractions, and we have to encounter. Now, what are the processes? These are given in this slide. Furthermore, establishing a robust devotional practice, including regular prayer and mantra recitation, can anchor your focus on spiritual truths even amid worldly chaos, even if there is chaos in this world, but if we follow what is given in our system, that is chanting the name of the Lord, worshipping the Supreme Lord, recitation of mantras, focusing on the spiritual truths, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, all these things will be able to circumvent Maya. Then the third question, in what ways can the scriptural study deepen one's understanding of Krishna's nature beyond theoretical knowledge? Now, studying scriptures transcends mere knowledge acquisition. It serves as a catalyst for profound transformation. The study can significantly deepen your understanding of Krishna's nature by prompting you to reflect on teachings and apply them within the unique context of your life. Not only that we have to study them, but we have to apply them in our lives, engaging in spirited discussions about scripture, seeking insights from knowledgeable sources, and incorporating the principles outlined in these texts into your daily practice can turn theoretical knowledge into a living experience. This is very, very important. We should not just read and speak. We should practice them in our daily life, and this deliberate application fosters an intimate connection with Krishna and catalyzes meaningful spiritual growth. The study of scripture is not just about acquiring knowledge, but about transformation of our own selves. It can deepen the understanding of Krishna's nature by encouraging practitioners to reflect on the teaching within the context of their own lives, engaging in discussions about scripture, seeking interpretations from knowledgeable sources, and applying the principles outlined in the text can transform theoretical knowledge into lived experience. And this application fosters a more profound connection with Krishna and facilitates spiritual growth. Now, this is very, very important. We must know. Okay, we go to the next slide. Now, this passage delves into profound themes that lie at the heart of Krishna Bhakti tradition, particularly within the Gaudiya Vaishnava doctrine. The following key thematic elements illuminate their philosophical significance. Now, we'll see them. Now, seeing that they were about to leave, that the sages about to leave, then Vasudeva, what he did, he approached the sages and he bowed down to them at their lotus feet and spoke to them with the chosen words. He said that the residence of all the demigods, that you are the residents of the demigods, and please hear me. Kindly tell me how the reactions of one's work can be counteracted by further work. Now here Vasudeva is addressing the sages as the residents of all the demigods, and this statement is confirmed in the various other Vedic literature, but it basically says that wherever demigods exist, all reside in them, and this is given in the Vedas. And what about worship and service? Now, Vasudeva's engagement in Vedic sacrifices powerfully exemplified the necessity of ritualistic worship as a means of personal purification and a way to mitigate the consequences of one's karma. Now, this is very, very important for us. If we want to mitigate the consequences of our karma, then we have to use this ritualistic worship methods also. Now, this practice reflects the central tenet of the tradition, that acts of devotion, bhakti towards Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Being, have the potency to transcend material entanglements and guide individuals toward spiritual liberation. Now, please don't understand from this statement that we have to do the ritualistic worship as given in the Karmakanda section of the Vedas. That is not required. for a devotee. We have to do bhakti, and the various limbs of bhakti, that also you know. That means we have to do devotional service, and devotional service means loving the Supreme Lord as one of our relations. And if this is done for the Supreme Being, then it is given here in the slide. It has got the potency to transcend material entanglements and guide individuals towards spiritual liberation. One will be able to achieve anything and everything with this devotional service. One doesn't have to do any other thing. Now, regarding Vasudeva's his inquiry, what Jiva Goswami he comments on this. He says that Narada he understood how Vasudeva, in line with his pretending to be an ordinary householder, we know that he is not an ordinary householder. He is the father of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not in this lifetime, but for all the times. And therefore, he asked the sages about karma yoga. Although he has already attained spiritual goals, which even great yogis and rishis they cannot achieve it. But why he is asking that? Narada was still concerned that Vasudeva might create an awkward mood by treating the Lord Krishna as a mere child in the presence of all the sages. And Narada and the other sages, they felt obliged to maintain their attitude of reverence toward Lord Krishna. So, how could they ignore him and presume to answer Vasudeva themselves? Now, to avoid this embarrassment, Narada took this opportunity to remind everyone present of Sri Krishna's absolute supremacy, how he is the supreme personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord's awareness is never disturbed by time, by the creation and destruction of the universe, by the changes in its own qualities, or by anything else. But although the consciousness of the personality of Godhead, who is supreme one without a second, is never affected by material distress and by the reactions of material work or by the constant flow of nature's modes. Ordinary persons think that Lord is covered by his own creations, but this is not so. This has to be understood very, very clearly. And that's why Sukadeva Goswami also says that at the end the sages then spoke again to Vasudeva. And then we go to point number 2. The interaction between Vasudeva and the sages not only highlight the invaluable nature of spiritual guidance and wisdom, but also underscores the essential role of community and mentorship in spiritual disciplines. This point also, the role of community, this we have seen in so many classes, so many lessons, so many lectures. We should worship, we should approach the Supreme Lord not individually but as a community. With that, what will happen? You will get much help, and the Lord will be too much pleased when more people, the whole community, it gets engaged in devotional service. And these sages who embody profound spiritual knowledge provide crucial direction for navigating life's complexities with faith and ritual, ensuring that no devotee must undertake their spiritual journey in isolation. This is very, very important for us to remember. We should not think that we should retire to a forest like the Himalayas and seek for the Supreme Lord there without taking note of what is given in these lectures or in these scriptures. We have to remember that we should go all together, then we will achieve success. If we go separately, then we may encounter so many obstacles and there will be nobody to, to advise us, to help us in that. Okay. Okay, we go to the next slide, but before that, about Vasudeva's various other things, it is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Then, as you know, Vasudeva received the initiation along with his wives, and then Vasudeva's priests and the officiating members of the assembly, they were standing there, and at that time, Balram and Krishna, they were also present and performing various kinds of Vedic sacrifices according to proper regulations. Vasudeva then worshipped the Lord of all sacrificial paraphernalia, mantras, and rituals. Then he executed the primary and secondary sacrifices, offering oblations to the sacred fire. All these things happened, and then what happened, we'll learn about point number 3, material detachment and renunciation. This point also we have spoken many times. The text derive home the importance of learning to renounce material desires. Material detachment means to renounce material desires, especially for householders, through acts of sacrifice and charity. Sacrifice and charity, they are never to be sacrificed. We have to do them. And what is the best sacrifice? Yajna, it is the Sankirtana Yajna for the Kali Yuga. That means we should not call a Brahmana and do the sacrifice in what is done in the fire, all those rituals, that is not required. It has to be done by performing chanting and congregational chanting. And charity means giving to the authorized persons. If you give your wealth or money to here and there, and think that is charity, that is not the one. It should be given to eligible persons, to a temple, to for the Supreme Lord, to his devotees. These are the things. And this teaching promotes a harmonious balance in household life, encouraging individuals to fulfill their responsibilities while nurturing a spirit of detachment from worldly possessions and ambitions. If we give charity, then this detachment will also come. Then thinking that this money belongs to me, this will not be there. Then divine grace and personal relationship with God, the acknowledgement of Vasudeva's past devotion to Lord Hari illuminates the centrality of divine grace in the Bhakti tradition. You know, when Krishna was born, at that time also Vasudeva knew that he is the supreme personality of Godhead, and now also he is remembering that. It asserts that sincere devotion and worship can invoke God's favor, ultimately liberating devotees from material debts and suffering. And this personal relationship with the divine is a cornerstone of Vaishnava, Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, offering comfort and understanding to all followers. That means we have to have a personal relationship with the Supreme Lord. And what about attachment? Attachment means accepting things for one's own sense gratification. And detachment is the absence of such sensual attachment. But one fixed in Krishna consciousness has neither attachment nor detachment, because his life is dedicated in the service of the Lord. Consequently, he is not at all angry even when his attempts are unsuccessful. Success or no success, Krishna conscious person is always steady in his determination. This is what is the meaning. Then the next will go community and collective worship. This community, this point has been coming again and again. That's why we have to understand its importance. The communal aspects of the sacrifices involving participation from various kings and their families illustrate the vital significance of collective worship in nurturing unity and devotion among practitioners. The grandeur of these rituals reflect the joy found in collective engagement in divine service, reinforcing the belief that bhakti is both a personal and shared journey. This gives the complete thing of what we have spoken, and symbolism of rituals, the intricate descriptions of rituals, attire, and the sacrificial arena. They evoke the sanctity and solemnity of devotional practices, underscoring their transformative potential. If you read this Bhagavatam, various other things are given in very, very great detail. I am very sure you would have gone through. That's why you will understand all the sentences given in the slide. And they remind us of the beauty and joy embedded in serving the divine, inspiring personal growth and spiritual transformation through her heartfelt worship. Now, a word about fostering unity in the ISKCON community in the temples. There they bring together people from diverse cultural, regional or linguistic backgrounds and unite them under the Sanatan Dharma, and the inclusive nature of these practices, they make it a platform for a very worldwide to connect and celebrate the faith. And this is and one of the significant impacts of communal prayer is the emotional connection to it fostering by the individuals. And engaging in collective prayer allows individuals to express vulnerabilities and aspirations in a supportive environment, and this expression can lead to increased empathy amongst the devotees and understanding amongst the community members as they become more attuned to each other's needs and concerns. These are the various benefits we'll derive. Then we go to the next slide. 7. Celebration of divine presence. The manifestation of Balrama and Krishna during the sacrificial rite symbolizes the intimate presence of the divine in the lives of devotees. Both Krishna and Balrama, they are the supreme personality of the Godhead. And it affirms the belief that God is not distant, but He is accessible and actively involved in the lives of His followers and reaching the emotional and spiritual dimensions of bhakti. If we do bhakti, He will appear and guide us personally. And at this time, when we are talking about Him, He is in front of us. He is listening to all our words and He is seeing what we are doing. But due to some reason, we cannot see them. Now, the conclusion is selecting these themes arise organically from their pivotal role in encapsulating the essence of Krishna Bhakti, the approach to devotion that prioritizes personal connection to the divine, community, and the life changing power of ritual. And this passage embodies the heart of the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, which celebrates the deep bond between the devotee and God through acts of love, worship, and service. These three things, they are very, very important. We have to love the Supreme Lord, we have to worship Him, and offer menial service to Him while steering clear of impersonal philosophical interpretations of the Advaitavadis. For that, we have seen what are the differences. Let us go to the next slide. Now the instructive questions and answers. Question number 1, what specific Vedic rituals did Vasudeva perform and how are they connected to the spiritual journey? How they are helpful in one's spiritual journey? Now Vasudeva's spiritual journey intricately intertwined with his engagement in various Vedic rituals. What were there? They were the sacrifices, yajnas, and these rituals which involve offerings to the deities. The chanting of mantras and the communal gathering served as a powerful instrument for purifying Vasudeva and his family from karma. Because they were advised by the sages to do this as per the Vedic literature, and they aligned them with the divine will and paved the path for their spiritual liberation through the blessings of Lord Vishnu. Now, the second question, how do the teachings of the sages inform contemporary practices within the Gaudiya Vaishnava community today? The teachings of the sages continue to shape contemporary practices within the Gaudiya Vaishnava community, drawing from texts like the Srimad Bhagavatam, the writings of the saints such as Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and modern devotees often engage in study groups, kirtans, and communal worship, leveraging these ancient teachings to navigate their spiritual journeys while seeking guidance from more experienced practitioners, as we are doing in this group. And in what ways can householders practically balance material responsibilities and spiritual detachments in their lives? For householders, achieving a balance between material responsibilities and spiritual detachment transcends mere philosophy. It is vital reality. By embracing a consciousness of service in their daily activities, they can seamlessly integrate their spiritual aspirations into their worldly duties. We are not required to leave our worldly duties. We should carry out them, but at the same time, we should do bhakti. And this balanced approach allows them to fulfill their responsibilities while maintaining a heart aligned with higher purpose. Now, this higher purpose we should never forget in our life. That's why even if we are doing so many other things in our daily life, we should always practice the devotional service, that is loving the Supreme Lord. Next, affection and relationship. This point also we have discussed many times in various lectures. This passage powerfully highlights the warmth and depth of personal connection in spiritual life. Vasudeva's heartfelt acknowledgement of his bonds with Nanda gave as a striking reminder that genuine spiritual connections are profoundly rooted in love and mutual respect. These are very, very important. You have to love the Supreme Lord, love the devotees. Like we say, we recognize that the Super Soul is there in everybody. That means we have to love everybody. The higher class devotee, he sees the Supreme Lord in every being. And that's why we have to respect, we have to have mutual respect for everybody. Then the next point is material wealth versus spiritual awareness. Vasudeva's caution against the blindness that can accompany material success acts as a beacon in our spiritual journey. We should not think that somebody has got so much money, he has risen to this level, that's why he is better than us, better than a devotee, because the devotee looks very poor and all that. That is not so. That's what is coming out very clearly in this case of Vasudeva, Krishna's father. He is warning that excessive opulence may lead to one to overlook familial and social responsibilities. Now, please remember that if the Supreme Lord is very, very happy with somebody, it will come in the 88th chapter. The Lord, if he is very much pleased, he will take away all this wealth from you. And gratitude and reciprocity, the theme of gratitude emerges vividly in Vasudeva's reflections of Nanda's unwavering friendship despite his own shortcomings. This acknowledgement of unprecedented, unreciprocated love spotlights the ideal of selfless devotion, a cornerstone of bhakti. We have to reciprocate and we have to be gratitude to anybody and everybody who have helped us. Then next, separation and longing, the emotional weight of separation. As we know this, so when one is separated, he longs to unite. And this is the cornerstone of bhakti sentiment, that the play and the pain of separation can foster a more profound understanding and appreciation of divine love and celebration of divine sacrifice. The joyous atmosphere of surrounding the sacrifices performed by Vasudeva beautifully underscores the importance of communal worship and celebration within Bhakti tradition. This we have seen in great detail. Then continuity of devotion, one should continue in the devotional service. Then we go to the next slide. the three questions. What specific practices within Krishna Bhakti traditions foster the bonds of affection and passages in this passage? This is Bhakti only, Krishna Bhakti. Traditions that cultivate the bonds of affection include engaging in devotional service such as singing kirtans, that is devotional songs, enjoying communal feast, prasadam, and participating in festivals that honor the divine. And question number two, how do individuals navigate the tension between the material wealth and spiritual awareness in their daily lives? Individuals skillfully navigate the tension between material wealth and spiritual awareness by prioritizing spiritual practices like prayer, meditation, acts of charity, which help ground them in their core values. We have to prioritize them. And the spiritual practices, they take higher priority. Then the third, in what ways can the themes of gratitude and reciprocity manifest in modern spiritual communities? Themes of gratitude and reciprocity can flourish within the modern spiritual communities through acts of service, unwavering support during the challenging times, and sharing of resources amongst the members. That's why we have been talking about the community service and initiatives like volunteer projects, communal celebrations, mentorship programs foster a culture of mutual appreciation, enabling individuals to express gratitude for one another's contribution and cultivate a spirit of selfless devotion throughout the community. And all these things, as you know, we practice in the ISKCON, and that's why I am not elaborating on all this. Now I have come to the end of today's lesson. The balance of the things we'll see in the next class. If you have got any questions or comments, it is most welcome. I will try my best to answer them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. What a wonderful class. Thank you so much. So many insights, so much to take home. Thank you, Prabhu. Prabhu, I want to share something. Can I share?
Yes.
Regarding the Gopi Gita, which you said in the early part of the class.
Yes.
So, I just wanted to share. You said, right, the gopis did not write this Gopi Gita and then come and then sing it at a particular time when Krishna disappeared. So this did not happen. It came from their hearts. So this I just wanted to share how Shukadeva Goswami is such a poetic way he has written this Gopi Gita. So I just wanted to share. Can I share the screen?
Yes,
Prabhu?
yes, Mataji.
So here we all see the first Gopi Gita, the beginning. So I just wanted to say that how Shukadeva Goswami has so beautifully written these verses that they're so rhyming. Like for example, the second letter of every stanza is the same. Like say Jayati in that Jaya. So you see here Jayati, Shrayata, Daita, Tvai. So the Y is here is there in all the second syllabus is the same, and it goes on to all the verses. Like here Shara Dudasai. So Shara Ra. Then Sara, Ra, Sura, Surata, Sura, and Varada, Vara. So the Ra is the same in the second letter. The second letter of every line is the same. Like here, Visha, Jalapyayad, Varsha, Marutad, Vrisha, Mayatmajad, Risha, Vayatmajad. So that also, and not only that, the second line. So there's one more here. That one I couldn't make out where it is. There's another like that in the same.
Which chapter are you looking for?
Pardon me?
Which chapter are you looking for?
No, the same chapter, the same Gopi Gita. There's another place where he does the same thing. Sharadu Dashay, Sadhu Jatasa Sarasi Jodara Sri Mushadusha. Okay, this one I'm not sure, but this second one, the next one I will tell you in the next class if I can get it. Like Jala Visha Jalapyayat, Vyala Rakshasad, Varsha Maratat, Vaidyutanalat, Rishamayatmajat, Vishvatovayat. So there's a ver here everywhere. It's like that. But here in the beginning, the second letter of the first line, the second letter is the same throughout. If you see throughout, no? The Nakhalu Gopika, Kha, Akhila, Vikhana, Sakha. So it's the same. Can you see on the screen? The second letter,
Yes,
every line is the same. So beautifully he has written. Can see the entire Gopi Gita is like that. Thank you, Prabhu. I just wanted to share.
Okay, okay.
yes.
Entire Gopi Gita is like so poetic, Mataji. So poetic, right?
So
Yeah.
poetic, but
Like you say, we say Vyasadeva has written Srimad Bhagavatam. That is not correct. He compiled Srimad Bhagavatam. Compiled from where? The
Shukadeva
all
Goswami.
in the Vedic literature, the verses were already there. That means these are eternally existing. This Gopi Gita or this complete Bhagavatam, they are eternally existing. They only he only compiled to our advantage. That's what
Yeah. Shukadeva
happened.
Goswami has
And he put it in written form for people like us in Kali Yuga, you know.
yes, correct.
Yes.
So Shukadeva Goswami spoke it, and in that assembly, Vyasadeva also was sitting, and he was so enamored
Yes.
by his own son's poetic way of expressing the Srimad Bhagavatam that he compiled the very same words of his son. So this Shukadeva Goswami's words, these are the words of the Shukadeva Goswami which he spoke to Maharaj Parikshit and was compiled by his father, Vyasadeva.
Yes. Yes.
So beautiful. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
We are just glancing over the various chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam. If we talk in detail, in our many lifetimes, we will not be able to finish. In many lifetimes, there is so much great truth, so much great philosophy ingrained in this. One can never think it is even beyond our perception, our knowledge to understand.
Remember, Vyasadeva is an expansion of Lord Narayana himself.
Any other question
No
or
ordinary
comment?
human being, no ordinary human
Sorry,
beings can do what he has
sorry.
done.
Yeah. Sorry, Prabhu. I got it. I was telling you that there's one more thing, right? I
Yes.
just got that. I forgot where exactly. Now I got it. See, the Jayati Te comes, so the Jayati, the Ja, and then Janmana Vraja, the Ja from there. So Shrayati Shra, and then Shashwadatra Sha. Dayati Da, and Dikshu Da. So it is like the first letter of the line and the middle of that line, that Jayati te dikam, then Janmana Vraja Shrayata Indira Shashwadatrahi Daita Dreshata Dikshutavaka Tvai Drita Savas Tvam Vichinvate. So Jayati here and Janmana, Shrayata and Shashwat, Daita and Dikshu, Tvai and Tvam. So it's like that throughout the entire Gopi Gita. Like I said, these lines these words are the same, the letters, it is the Ucharan. And then the second, that Jayati, Shrayata, Daita, Dvai. It's so beautiful and so melodious.
And the way you sing so beautifully.
Thank you.
Very beautifully you sing.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for sharing, Mataji. This is so wonderful, actually. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Any other question or comment on what we have learned? The essence, if you ask me, what is there? It is sadhu sangha only. the importance of sadhu sangha.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, very wonderful and thoughtful class. And yes, Mataji, so nice. So nice, this thing, the poetry way you sang. Thank you, Prabhu. Lot to learn and implement. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you,
Dandavat.
Archana Mataji, that for the revelation. It was really beautiful. Sharad Prabhuji, very beautiful class today. So basically, you were saying that we have to work on a micro level as well as a macro level. Like going along with the sadhu sang, you have to develop your personal relationship with the Lord.
Yes.
And in a way that you have that relation. So my question is, when you are developing this sambandh with the Almighty, being a neophyte, sometimes you have mixed feelings. Sometimes you look at him as a master, sometimes as a friend, sometimes as a father. So is that all right, or is one has to stick to a particular relationship throughout?
Well, we all of us, we have got a particular permanent relationship with the Supreme Lord, but that we do not know. Now, we in this material world, influenced by Maya, we are in this devotional service, we are trying to establish a relationship. Now, what can be that relationship? What you say, it keeps on altering also, but after some time, it stabilizes. Now, you consider the Supreme Lord as superior, or your child, or like your lover, or like this. It may be much different than what is our actual relationship. Our actual relationship, that will be revealed at a much later stage, and when at that stage when we are in pure devotional service, and when we are mature. But till that time, whatever comes, it is actually mechanical process. But at that time, what will come in the heart, that is actual, and that will come automatically. Now it has to come mechanically at this stage, because there is no other way.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, any other question? Okay, till the time you are thinking about questions, I'll talk about, I said Nanda Maharaj, he stayed for 3 months in Braja. I'll talk about that. Taking after reading the comments of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura, what he says, at the end of 3 months, Nanda Maharaj, he approached Krishna and told him that for one drop of perspiration from your divine face, I am ready to give up countless lives. Let us leave now for Vraja. I cannot spend any more time here. Then he went to Vasudeva and told him, my dear friend, please send Krishna to Braja along with me. And of King Ugrasena, he requested, please order my friend to do this. And if you refuse, I will have to drown myself here in Lord Parshurama's lake. That is in Samanta Panchaka. And he said, just watch, if you do not believe me, we the people of Braja came here to see this holy place, not to gain some piety on the occasion of the solar eclipse, but to get Krishna back or die. This is our resolution. And hearing these desperate words from Nanda Maharaj, Vasudevji and the others, they tried to pacify Nanda Maharaj with valuable gifts. And well versed in the arts of diplomacy, as you know, Vasudeva, he consulted with his most trustworthy advisors, then satisfied Nanda Maharaj by telling him that my dear friend, you are the king of Braja. It is of course true that none of you can live without Krishna, and how can we allow you to kill yourselves? Therefore, by all means, I must send Krishna back to Braja. I'll do so right after we accompany him and his relatives and friends. Among them, the many helpless women, they also go back to Dwarka. Then the very next day, without trying to obstruct him in any way, I'll let him live for Braja at an auspicious time. Now, this he said, this I swear to you 1,000 times over. And after all, how can we who have come here with Krishna and go home without him? And what will people say about us? You are a great scholar in all matters, so please forgive me for making this request to you. And next, Ugrasena, he addressed Nanda Maharaj. He said, my dear master of Braja, I bear witness to Vasudeva's statement and take the solemn vow that I'll send Krishna back to Braja even if I have to do it by force. Then Krishna, joined by Uddhava and Balarama, they spoke to Nanda Maharaj in private. Nobody else was hearing. And he said, my dear father, if you go directly to Braja today, leaving aside all these Brahmanes, they will die from the pain of separation from me. Then many thousands of enemies more powerful than the Kesi demon and the Arishtasura will come to kill all these kings here in Kurukshetra. And since I am omniscient, I know what is inevitably going to happen to me. And listen, listen, and I'll describe it to you. He said, after returning to Dwarka, I'll receive an invitation from Yudhishthira Maharaj and will go to Indraprastha to participate in his Rajasuya sacrifice. There I will kill Sisupala, after which I will again return to Dwarka and kill Salva. Next, I will travel to a place just south of Mathura to save you by killing Dantabakra. I will then go back to Braja to see all my friends and again sit on your lap with great pleasure. Indeed, with great happiness, I'll spend the rest of my life with you. I will not go, I will not come back from there. And God has written this faith on my forehead, and it has been written on your forehead that until the day I return, you must tolerate separation from me. Neither of you, neither of our destinies can possibly be changed. And if in the meantime you and my beloved friends are distressed by the unavoidable fate which is written on our foreheads, then whenever you wish to feed me some delicacy or play some game with me or simply see me, just close your eyes and I will appear before you to turn your torment into sky of flowers. And convinced by all these arguments, that his son's happiness was of prime importance, Nanda Maharaj, he accepted the gifts and offered him and took his leave and accompanied by the Yadus and a large army, but then he returned to Braja. Now this is given by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his comments. Any other comment or question? No question, no comments.
Yeah, I
That,
have comments.
that means
Prabhuji, you done so very nice, scholastically done, and that's what I admire about you. Thank you so much. You give a lot of background information.
thank you, Prabhuji. Then we'll conclude.
Wonderful session, Prabhu. Yeah.
Yes, Prahad Prabhuji.
Wonderful session. I'm just saying, Prabhu. Okay. Thank you, everything. So, in nutshell, even if you go for pilgrimages and any other place, you have to see for sadhu sangha. Sadhu sangha is the key, okay, for every yatra kind of thing.
Yes, but the problem is in this time, it is very difficult to make out who is a sadhu. That's why in our heart of hearts we have to accept that whomsoever we see, he is a sadhu, and go to the places where we can find the sadhus, like in the temples, the hermitages, like this. There we will be able to see sadhus. And please remember, the greatest sadhus, we cannot recognize them because they won't look like sadhus only. But there are great sadhus even today. They are roaming around in Vrindavan, Dwarika, and Ayodhya, in all these places whom one cannot recognize, but they are real sadhus even staying today. And if we see them, we will get purified. That should be our aim, rather than to go for a picnic or sightseeing journey. Okay, if we do not have any other question or comments, then we can conclude the today's class with the Nrsinga prayers.
Okay, Prabhuji. May I do the
Thank you,
Narasimha
Prabhuji. Very
prayers?
nice session.
Thank you, thank you.
Shri
Yes,
Narasimhadev,
Satta Mataji.
नरसिम्हदेव भगवान की जय, प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। नमस्ते नरसिंहाय, नमस्ते नरसिंहाय, प्रह्लादलाददायिने, प्रह्लादलाददायिने, हिरण्यकाशिपूर्वक्षः, हिरण्यकाशिपूर्वक्षः, शीलटङ्कानखालाय, शीलटङ्कानखालाय, तो नरसिम्हा परतो नरसिम्हा, इतो नरसिम्हा परतो नरसिम्हा, यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिम्हा, यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिम्हा, बाही नरसिम्हा हृदये नरसिम्हा, बाही नरसिम्हा हृदये नरसिम्हा, नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये, नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये, तव करकमलवरेणकाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गम्, दलिताहिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गम्, केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, तव करकमलवरेणकाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गम्, दलिताहिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गम्, केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जयो नरसिंहदेव, जय नरसिंहदेव, नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव, जय प्रहलाद महाराज, प्रहलाद महाराज, प्रहलाद महाराज, जय प्रहलाद महाराज, नित्य गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, नित्य गौर हरि बोल, जय जय प्रभुपाद, 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद, जय जय गुरुदेव, 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 जय जय गुरुदेव, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि बोल, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे. I just wanted to say that anybody who has not seen Mahavatar Narsimha movie should see, because the last dialogue when Narsimha Bhagwan speaks to Prahlad, they have shooted it so nicely. It's a very beautiful movie.
Okay.
And
Yes,
now it is
Mataji.
available.
Yeah.
It is available on Netflix also if you cannot go to the theater.
Yeah,
Yes.
that is absolutely correct. This is so wonderful movie. We also watch it. Everybody should watch that movie.
Today I have seen,
Sharad,
Prabhu. I have seen on TV. It's a very nice movie.
Sharad Prabhuji, are you going to Vrindavan?
Yes, I am going on 27th.
Okay, okay. And Mataji is well now? All well?
Oh, she will be all right by then.
Okay, okay. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, we are in Govardhan for Yatra.
What you said, Mataji?
We are there at Govardhan for Yatra. From 18th, we will be departing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And till which date?
We will, yeah, I think we have Yatra till 26, 27, we will, we'll take off.
Okay. We'll be reaching 27th evening.
Okay, Prabhuji. We'll again check the timings of departure.
Yes.
Yeah.
How long will be away, Prabhuji? Hello, Prabhuji, Sharathji, how long
Yes.
you'll be away? How long you'll be away?
I'll be then back on 20th of November.
Oh, so I'm just wondering, your lectures are.
No. None of my lectures are there.
Oh, okay. So you know that important lectures I assigned to you. I'd like you to do that. You know that very important lectures. You know, the Markandeya Rishi.
Yes.
You'll be able to do it, right?
Yes, I will.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. Oh, this is in the 26th. Lot of time. I'm
Yes.
sorry. Okay. All right. Haribol Prabhuji, thank you again.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Prabhuji.
much.
Thank you for all your blessings.
Thank you, everyone. Sanjeev Prabhu, you did very well too.
Thank you, Vaiji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Thank you,
Namaste,
Prabhuji.
Benji.
Thank you, Chandra Bhai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Nice
Thank you, Chandra
lecture.
Bhai.
Thank
Nice
you.
recap.
And thank you.
And
Thank you.
Very wonderful recap by Sanjeev Prabhu. Excellent.
Yes,
Yes.
I
Prabhu.
call
Yes,
I
I
call
Mataji.
like
my
Prasad Prabhu very much. He's so enthusiastic, so
You
energetic.
know, it is everyone's signature sequence we do. We can say, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Yeah. And Sahil Prabhu engages us all. So nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Chal Prabhu.
Hi, Bo.
thank you all, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very
Dharma
much.
Pranam, Prabhuji.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Dharma
Chandu
Pranam.
Prabhu, Sharat Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay
Thank
Prabhu.
you, Charu Prabhuji. Take